Hey, good evening, y'all. Hey, I was over in Walmart the other night picking up a couple items, and a guy came by, recognized me, and we struck up a conversation. And he said, "Sam, I've got a question for you." And I said, "Sure, what's that?" He said, "Do you make like a heavy cream wax? I know you make the spray wax." And I said, "Well, yeah, have you looked on the website?" And he said, "No, I hadn't checked that." But I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do." Now, I didn't have it with me, but Frank, this video is for you and for the others out there that haven't tried it either or looked at it. And do we have one? Yes, we do. It's called paint protection. And here's the way it comes. It comes with an applicator and a towel, and of course the paint protection itself. Now, you need to have your vehicle ready for it, or your paint or clear coat ready for it. And this one here, now I washed the hood. I've done a clay bar treatment on it so that the clear coat was ready for it. So I'm going to take, and bear in mind on this product here, it's just a heavy cream, and be sparingly using it on the thing. Now, because you can use it heavy, yeah, but just waste your product and waste your money. So let's take, we're going to do half of the hood. So let's do this. Right there now, let's get the towel out of the way. That's going to be all we're going to need for this half of the hood. So let's give it a, here. Somebody's dog out there barking at me. Now, how about that? Now, you want to put this on very thin, very light, because that's all you need. You know, you hear about a lot of people say, "Let's stack it on there." Well, I don't want to argue with them, but you know, get you about a 2,000 or 3,000 power microscope, or borrow one if you can, and you look at your molecules, and you see if you can stack them things up like on a wax. They won't. The initial coat of your wax will adhere to your surface that you've got, but then when you get them to stacking up on top of each other, when you come back after it's cured to wipe off that, it takes them off the top where you had them quote stacked up. That's what I've found, you know, and I use the microscope that we got down at the lab too. I first had to prove it to myself, and I'm just sharing it with y'all. You know, when you, and someone's going to say to me, "Well, but if you have those molecules molecularly intertwined or connected," okay, that's fine. I'm not to that point yet with mine. So the microscope that I had just showed when I came back after the product had initially cured, and I took that initial wipe on it, that it took all but the ones that was on the very surface. It was adhering to the surface. It took all of that away except those. Now, maybe yours is different. If it is, shucks, I'm always open to instruction. I'll be glad to. You know, I'm always open to instruction. And maybe the molecules of your product stick to each other better, and you can stack them up. And that's good, if you can. Mine won't let me do that. So, enough about that point. Anyway, you want your product on here. I usually give it 3 to 5 minutes for a cure time. Now, in the interest of time, we'll give this just the amount of time that I'm putting it on here. And like I said, I really can't stress it enough to have it on very thin. And you saw the amount that I put on there initially, and I didn't slip and put any more on there. So with that on, let's give it a, well, I don't know, this one right here just to prove a point. Shucks, well, let's go ahead and wipe it off now. So let's take the towel provided and go ahead and start on it. And that's about how easy to wipe off it, or that's not about, that is how easy to wipe off. Now, you guys, I don't know if you ever looked at my motto on the thing, and it says, "Feel the shine." Well, here's what I did. I took that from this, and you look at the shine, you think, "Wow, I wonder what that feels like." And that's what it's for. Feel the shine. And as if you don't agree with me after you've used this, and it's not a ploy to get you to buy a product or anything. If you don't like the product, hey, send it back. I'll give you money back on it. I've got no problem with that. But I want you to understand it'll last probably 2.5 times as long as the spray wax. And the spray wax is easier and more convenient. I understand. I used it a bunch myself, don't get me wrong. But this right here, in case you got a car real special to you and you say, I want to put a heavy cream on that for a good long lasting thing, good, right here's the one you want. And we'll go ahead and wipe this off. And it's just that easy to wipe off. Like I said, now the towel that you get may not be a blue one, but it will be a quality microfiber towel. You can rest assured of that. You know, you see so many of the microfibers out there that are, they're just not good towels. That's all I can say. I won't slam anybody's product or anything. They're just not they have the microfiber name, not so much the quality of it, but they have the name. So we'll let that point, as they say in the country, we'll let them sleeping dogs lie. There you go, it's just that easy. Now, one thing I used to do is, there it goes, anyway. It'll take off and go right on out off the hood there. And you're saying, well, the hood's slanted. Yes, it is, but it will slide right off of there, so. Anyway, guys, give it a try. And like I say, if you don't like it, and you say, no, it's not worth the money or it didn't do that, let me know, I'll give you the money back. Got no problem with that. I stand behind all my products on it. 100%. So there you are. That's the paint protection. Like I said, comes in a kit. That's what it looks like. Just a heavy cream wax, but has a long lasting effect on your clear coat. And you can use it on, like I say, if you got just a single stage, works good on that. Even lacquers works very good on that. And then of course the ones with the clear coat on it. So give it a go. Tell me what you think. Appreciate you guys. And remember, feel the shine.